Hi, my name is Suad Leija, and I have written a book, Paperweapons. I will begin with a brief chapter synopsis starting today in the first of 30 chapters. This is my story and history. Please go to YouTube and Paperweapons book to view, and to purchase, go to my website, www.suadleija.com, and purchase the book. Introduction. Counterfeit documents are paper weapons. The first weapon a terrorist needs to fit in the United States is documents. Once he has this weapon and cover, he can cause great harm to the United States and its citizens. These were the weapons the terrorists of 9/11 used to blend into the United States. Paperweapons is a true story of counterterrorism and the effort made to infiltrate the Castorena Leija Sanchez organization by using Suad Leija, the young 19-year-old, unsuspecting and vulnerable daughter of Manuel Leija Sanchez, the largest maker of counterfeit documents and human smuggling in the United States. In order to track this terrorist, it also addresses another major topic in the United States, immigration. The net of the Castorena Leija Sanchez cartel is so wide that every illegal alien in this country has done or known someone who has done business with this organization for their documents. I am Suad Leija. My story starts at age 11 in Chicago. I am the stepdaughter of Manuel Leija Sanchez, one of the founders of the Castorena Leija Sanchez organization, that largest Mexican crime organization that produces and sells fake identification and human smuggling in the United States. I started to realize who my father was and what he did when the FBI raided our house in Chicago when I was 11 years old. They had come to arrest my father, Manuel Leija Sanchez. I also started to learn of the brutality of the family. Throughout a series of events that shaped my life, I made a decision that put my life at risk to assist the United States government in its fight against terrorism by becoming a witness in the prosecution of my father, my family, and their associates, identifying key family members and providing the history of his organization. I had to make a life decision that would affect the rest of my life, and at 21 years old, a decision not many people have to make. As a young woman, I hope that other young girls and women can see that in the end, we all have to make our own decisions, and that we are capable of making good ones even if they are hard. I hope that I can become a role model for younger girls. As a 20-year-old university student in Nicaragua, I became an unsuspecting target of the United States intelligence efforts to gain entry in my father and partner's vast American computer database, located in 33 states and 53 American cities, in order to track terrorists who obtained counterfeit documents. Called the TAC operation, the responsibility for its ultimate failure is shared by both the Leija Sanchez family and the Department of Homeland Security. Despite this failure, I developed into the key figure in the pursuit and eventual prosecution of the Castorena Leija Sanchez organization itself. I initiated through my grand jury testimony. My appearance before Congress and the coverage of my interviews by the media, the indictments and arrest of my father, uncles, and numerous other members of the CLS in several countries. My testimony before Congress about my family's unhindered success in providing false documents was a key factor in the failure of the Comprehensive Immigration Reform Act of 2007, the Secure Border Economic Opportunity and Immigration Reforms Act of 2007, that would have provided legal status and a path to legal citizenship for the approximately 12 million illegal immigrants currently residing in the United States. My marriage to the man who was responsible for me being here provided wiretapped information relating business conversations between members of the CLS organization also impacted the failure of the bill. These wiretaps explaining to a client how the CLS can fix his papers to meet the requirements of the legalization program, such as the bill the Senate was recently debating, were provided by my husband to the Washington Times and ran as a front page story for 2 days. Also on the tab was the conversation of the planning and gruesome murder of the former employee turned competitor in Mexico. Paperweapons is also the story of my husband, Robert Kelly, who had infiltrated the Russian-trained and supervised Cuban GGI, Cuba's version of the American CIA. He worked for several years, traveling to Havana, Miami, and throughout Central America. He operated out of Miami and Costa Rica as a double agent, controlled as a NOC, no official cover agent. Supervised by a counter-terrorist unit of the FBI in Miami, he lived 3 different lives in 3 different places. Above all, despite the story of violence, murder, espionage, and treachery that spans Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Nicaragua, Cuba, Costa Rica, Mexico, and other countries in Central America, Paperweapons is my great love story. It depicts the unsuspected and unconditional love between myself, a young, innocent, determined 20-year-old woman, and a worldly 57-year-old counterintelligence agent. This agent, Robert Kelly, given the code name of Lazarus by the FBI, created the tag operation while working for the Cuban intelligence agency, the GGI. Kelly is considered uncontrollable by his American handlers. For this man, to whom I became his 7th wife and endured death threats from my father, giving traumatic testimony before the federal grand jury in Chicago, being held hostage by my grandfather, a terrifying escape across the Mexican border into the United States, and a permanent separation from my sister and mother, he knowingly put me in harm's way. I realized he is surprisingly and completely in love. Kelly has pledged to devote his own life to keeping me safe and happy. It is a love story with a twist, one that I would never understand. Thank you.